The American crisis. Let God and the world judge between us. All the intelligent people of America have long well known the most unrighteous, unnatural, and barbarous designs of the ministry of Great Britain against the king's most faithful subjects of this continent, for no reason under heaven, but because they insist on maintaining the rights which God, nature, and the king had given them, and will not submit to absolute slavery, which would also, in consequence, involve the British nation, whom they yet love with deep affection, in the fame and liberty herself, be then chafed from the dwellings of men. Innumerable have been the injuries and insults offered the brave and generous inhabitants of Boston and its vicinity by the butchers sent under General Gage to execute their black intentions, which they have borne with a long suffering that nothing but invincible loyalty and prudence would have borne, and would have borne even longer, but the late inhuman murder and massacre by a brigade of near 1,000 savage soldiers on a handful of inoffensive men collected at Lexington, 8 of whom, without the least provocation, they laid dead on the spot, firing buildings and destroying much property. This instance of rage and barbarity, unparalleled by the most savage nation on earth, put a full period to the patience of that devoted people, roused them to arms, and about 300 chased near 2,000, the first being joined by another brigade, to their fortress, and nobly revenged the blood of their slaughtered countrymen. The inhuman murderers fled with precipitation, but marked the road with more than savage cruelty, by burning houses, stabbing sick old men, and murdering women and babes. This has caused a universal alarm, and fully opened the eyes, and united the hands of all America, and kindled their rage to a degree which nothing but moderation and justice from our cruel oppressors will ever extinguish, till the has vindicated the rights and redressed the wrongs which the has in vain fought for, by repeated humble and loyal prayers and petitions, to the inexorable throne of Britain, or until the land is surcharged with the blood of many 100,000 of her hardy sons. An army, far beyond the number of our enemies, is already established in the northern colonies, and increasing, and daily to be increased, and the southern are far from idle spectators. They are not raw, undisciplined fellows, but great part have acquired no small skill and experience in defense of their king and country in the last war. They are led by officers, very many not unacquainted with the duty and fatigues of the camp, men of fortune, the flower of the land, their soldiers men of property, who don't fight for a day, but for their inestimable rights, their religion, their wives, their children, and their estates, and conscious of the justice of their cause, they set up their standard in the name of the ever-living God, and under his almighty protection, are resolved to try, and do not despair of vindicating the cause, which, they trust God and the world approves. But in this difficult situation they implore the justice and the humanity of the British nation, who will also be instantly in abject slavery if they fail of success. We also hope the world will not behold with indifference the rights of humanity trampled in the dust, and the blood of innocents spilt like water on the ground, but lends us every aid in their power, which the laws of nature, humanity, and the justice of the cause loudly calls for. We have sinned against our God, but we have not sinned against our King, or his ministers. We have ever and uniformly been the most faithful subjects in the world, and our enemies being judges, we have never failed of obedience to anything required of us, but the late cruel edicts, to strip us of all our liberty and all our property, and these far dearer than life, we cannot yield up, but having tried all other means in vain, and compelled, at least having no alternative but death, or abject slavery, with deep consideration we make the last grand appeal to heaven and the impartial world. God is our witness, we never had, nor do we yet, entertain the remotest wish to shake off our constitutional dependence on, or subjection to the King, and the supreme authority of Great Britain. And with the same sacred truth we can affirm, we have the most cordial affection and friendship for the people of Great Britain. We love them as brethren, and we know that their and our weal and woe are inseparably connected. The richest blood of our country, and immense treasure has been cheerfully shed and expended in defense of our king and nation. What amazing madness! What more than savage cruelty? What frenzy, then, has possessed the hearts of a very few haughty ministers who rule the nation to drive such a people as this to desperation, and involve both countries in dreadful confusion and horrid carnage and blood? For not pretense or purpose, but to establish arbitrary and despotic power. Rouse then, ye inhabitants of Britain, ye inhabitants of the world. Sleep not the sleep of death, rouse and save this land, and save yourselves from the most tremendous of all evils, the dreadful curse of absolute slavery, that sun and center of all plagues, collected and united like the rays of the sun, to one focus, to one burning point. But yet be it known to the inhabitants of Great Britain that we are yet willing to be upon the terms of that most reasonable plan of the late Continental Congress. But if blood and slaughter is yet to be preferred to these most righteous terms of accommodation, we call heaven and earth to witness that we are innocent and are determined to sell our lives at the dearest rate. May 1st, 1775. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating stories from history.